We're following breaking news. The Osceola County Sheriff says 2 from his office have been arrested.
And we have team coverage on the standoff between the Orange County Mayor and the Attorney General.
I find it somewhat ironic that the 37-year-old Attorney General is attacking me personally.
I know the mayor said some, disparaging things about me. That's all fine and good. My response is, look at the law.
We'll have their heated back and forth on immigration enforcement.
Police say a homeowner saw this happening on their home security cameras while they were out of town. I'm Catherine Silver here in Winter Springs. We'll tell you what we're learning from investigators as they search for the suspects.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
I spent more years on the streets of Florida patrolling our streets as a law enforcement officer than he's been alive.
The Orange County Mayor pushing back against the Attorney General in a war of words over who transports ICE detainees and who pays for it. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez leads off our team coverage tonight. Stephanie, the AG sent a letter to Orange County leaders accusing them of running a so-called sanctuary city.
Yeah, Ginger, and I was able to speak with the mayor about that letter, and he was very clear about his thoughts on it. He says that the AG is bullying state law enforcement to get them to comply.
When I left the office yesterday, we had not formally received the letter.
Did not come to us.
Apparently, the letter was sent to you, the media, and not to those of us in Orange County government.
That's what Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings told me when asked how he felt after reading this letter from Florida's Attorney General James Othmeyer. The AG sent it to Demings and the board, telling them to sign the amended ICE agreement and transport detainees or face the consequences, including potential removal from office. The commission should always prioritize the safety of its residents over the misguided views of left-wing activists. Othmeyer is talking about the county rejecting an addendum to an ICE agreement it signed earlier this year. The addition would require Orange County to transport detainees to ICE facilities.
We support lawful immigration.
But the mayor says the county is already cooperating with ICE. And since the number of detainees has increased substantially, the county wants to discuss the amount it gets for housing them.
Our community is entitled to reimbursement for those that we hold on federal charges. We've said that we want to negotiate what that reimbursement rate should be.
And that agreeing to transport them would put a strain on county resources.
What they're doing is making our community unsafe, making our jail unsafe, because then they're pulling people out of resources that we cannot afford to send somewhere else within our state.
When it comes to the DOJ audit of the county, the mayor and Commissioner Nicole Wilson feel it isn't about reducing spending.
We invite anybody that can allow us to see a better way of doing things. We do not want to reinvent the wheel. But the idea of coming for us for things like investing in raised crosswalks or in environmental conservation land, that is a political position. It is not about saving you time or money.
The Orange County Board of Commissioners will meet on Tuesday. We can expect to hear more from the mayor and the other commissioners on this during that meeting. Reporting live in Orange County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Stephanie, thank you. Today we asked for the Attorney General's response to the Orange County Mayor. News 6 anchor Matt Austin joins us now live in studio with that part of the story. Matt.
Well, Ginger, this is escalating quickly here. James Othmeyer said Jerry Demings could be removed from office if he doesn't comply. He was in Marion County for a press conference about a child sex predator sting. We'll have more on that at 5:30. It was his comments about the Orange County mayor that are making headlines tonight, though. He said the county is required by law to transport those ICE detainees.
The law was passed in February. It's pretty clear. It says that, local governments have to exercise best efforts to support ICE in carrying out its federal immigration enforcement duties. So if ICE and the sheriffs are requesting that correctional officers in Orange County help to transfer detainees to ICE custody, then you better bet they've got an obligation to do it. So I know the mayor said some disparaging things about me. That's all fine and good. My response is look at the law. The law is what it is. We've got a duty to enforce it. That's our job.
News 6's Troy Campbell also asked the Attorney General about Orange County's claim they don't have the resources to pay for those ICE transports. You can see his response on News 6 at 5. Ginger.
Matt, thank you. We're following breaking news. 2 Osceola County Sheriff's Office employees are facing criminal charges. The interim sheriff claims his predecessor turned a blind eye to their reported crimes. News 6's Mike Valente joins us now live from the sheriff's office. And Mike, suspended Sheriff Marcos Lopez is once again in the news. But to be clear, this has nothing to do with the illegal gambling operation he's accused of being a part of.
Yeah, Ginger, this time it's related to actions that authorities say Lopez did not take. As we know, Marcos Lopez has been suspended since June 5th when he was arrested on charges of racketeering, accused of operating an illegal gambling enterprise that racked up millions of dollars in illegal proceeds. The man who replaced him, Christopher Blackman, says that Lopez had ignored alleged criminal activity in his office. Now, Blackman says this specific activity happened in May of 2024 when former Deputy Sheriff Kyle Henry allegedly unlawfully accessed computer systems and electronic databases to get information that had nothing to do with his official duties. Henry was arrested today. Now, in an unrelated case that Blackman says Lopez had no knowledge of, former digital evidence specialist Cassandra Worthland is facing charges related to the misuse of computer systems and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. An arrest warrant alleges the 64-year-old Worthland had accessed internal information in the sheriff's office, including an employee's personnel file, and sent them to her husband and others who are outside the agency. She's also accused of accessing body camera footage of an officer-involved shooting that she was not working on.
As we continue to look at the issues within the agency, I want to remind you all that we have a great agency with a lot of good people. We just have a small segment that we're looking at that have some issues. And with that, as we see those issues, we will arrest and prosecute those people if it's criminal charges.
Now, just to be clear here, Blackman did not accuse Lopez of knowing anything about Worthland's alleged crimes. He did, though, say that Lopez should have known or did know what was going on in terms of Kyle Henry's alleged actions, but turned a blind eye, failed to act on them. He did not provide any evidence suggesting what information Lopez may or may not have had, so we're hoping to get some further clarity on that front. I happened to have a conversation, got through to Mary Ibrahim, that is Marcos Lopez's attorney who's representing him in the racketeering case. She did not know anything about this press conference. It was news to her when I relayed what Blackman had said. She said she was going to consult with her co-counsel and then hopefully will get back to me. We're live in Osceola County. Mike Valente, News 6.
Mike, thank you. Also breaking, an Orange County jury has found Lawrence Doherty guilty of second-degree murder in the death of former Orlando Magic player Adrian Payne. Doherty claimed he was acting in self-defense. Prosecutors argued Doherty was not in any danger. Doherty was led out of the courtroom in handcuffs while Payne's family hugged each other.
I'm Antoine Payne. Adrian was my little brother. I'm just happy that justice was served. It took a long time. We've been waiting 3 years for this, and I'm just glad that it's been done.
Doherty's sentencing is set for August 29th. A live look now over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. We are tracking the heat, of course, and a few downpours out there. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now with what's going on out there. Jonathan.
Yeah, of course, still hot, but we talked about yesterday, maybe a little bit better, relatively speaking. We do have scattered thunderstorms out there trying to get going. The downpours erupting over the last few minutes to give us a couple of lightning strikes well to the west of Bunnell and Palm Coast. Ocala getting into the villages as well. A few more downpours trying to stream up tonight as we're watching the east and west coast sea breeze fire up. I do think it's going to be like last night where we see these start to get going a little more later into the evening. So that's something I'm going to be tracking for you through the rest of the day. 99 in Titusville, there's that heat. 96 in Orlando, still feels like 104. Heat index of 106 in Melbourne. Actual air temperatures at 93 degrees. Again, we're going to keep the heat, but the rain chances go up to at least help us out a little bit. We're going to break that part of the forecast down coming up at about 4:17, Ginger.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. In and out in just 4 minutes, police in Winter Springs say that's how long it took for a group to break into a home while the homeowners were away. Investigators say they saw it in real time on their security cameras at their home on Shetland Avenue and South Citrus Road. News 6's Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver shows us the video that detectives hope will help track down the thieves.
It's just before 9:30 Saturday night when 4 men enter the back patio of this home near Shetland and Citrus. They peer in through a glass window and eventually walk out of the camera's sight. Minutes later, a quick getaway, arms full with what looks like a dresser drawer loaded up with jewelry, watches, and clothing.
They were in, they were out.
Winter Springs police say the homeowners watched it happen on their security cameras while they were out of town.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising around this neighborhood.
We spoke to neighbors Wednesday as word spread about the burglary.
Years ago, my house was broken into. We used to live over by Lake Howell, and they did the same thing. They went in and out the back door, and they got in and out really quick.
Security cameras also caught two men breaking into a home in the area earlier this year.
Does this seem like an isolated case?
Right now, we're treating this as an isolated incident. We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that this is connected to any other case that we have in the city. That's not to say that as new information comes in, we might find that that could be a possibility.
Investigators say the community can make or break cases like this.
And that's what we rely on. Obviously, they're wearing masks, so that makes it a little difficult, but maybe the way they walk, maybe the way they're dressed, or just the general people in the neighborhood may have seen a strange car, strange individuals that aren't really around that much. Any information they could possibly give us that would lead us further down this investigation.
And here's a tip for homeowners. Winter Springs Police has a program where they'll check on your house while you're out of town. It's free. You can sign up online. We put a link on clickorlando.com. In Winter Springs, I'm Catherine Silver, News 6.
Earlier this week, we told you how deputies are targeting aggressive and dangerous drivers. But is it working? See what we found coming up. Plus, panicked sea lions jumping into the sea after the powerful 8.8 earthquake near Russia. It triggered tsunami alerts on our west coast. Where things stand now, that's next.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
A tsunami alert along the west coast led to mass evacuations in Hawaii. It all started with one of the largest earthquakes on record off eastern Russia. Jonathan Vigliotti reports from Malibu, California.
You need to expect that there will be flooding on all of the islands. We expect significant damage along the coastlines.
An urgent warning from the governor of Hawaii ordering people to get to higher ground after one of the world's strongest earthquakes hit off Russia's coast early Wednesday local time, prompting tsunami alerts halfway around the world. Lines of vehicles stretch for miles in Honolulu, with drivers stuck in traffic trying to evacuate.
The roads are full, people trying to move. We ask you to stay calm, cooperate.
It was a similar scene near Waikiki Beach. Airports were shut down and evacuation shelters opened across the state.
We decided to go to elevated ground. We've passed a couple other gas stations that you can't even get in them.
The first tsunami waves hit Hawaii early this morning, flooding parking lots and boat harbors. The largest wave so far was off the coast of Maui, measuring about 6 feet high.
We're past the worst part of it. We're not going to see any impacts bigger than we've already seen.
The tsunami waves were created by a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake that hit Russia's Far East some 6 hours earlier, interrupting surgeries and damaging buildings. Powerful waves first crashed into Russia's coastline, flooding homes, the largest as tall as 16 feet. Drone video captured the aftermath. And in Japan, people climbed on roofs as tsunami waves hit the shore.
And incredibly, no major injuries have been reported. Here in Southern California, officials are urging caution around the coast, warning specifically of strong rip currents. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Malibu, California.
Well, Florida is known for its powerful hurricanes and thunderstorms, but some might not know it has been struck by tsunamis in the past. I didn't know this, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's super rare. I think there's only been 4 in recorded history, and that's just because we don't have big subduction zones like what they do on the Pacific side. We have this mid-Atlantic ridge, so we have things pulling apart in the Atlantic. In order to get something like that, you need to have 2 plates going underneath each other. We do have that in the Caribbean. That's where the Lesser Antilles and part of the Greater Antilles have formed, but it's so much smaller. They can still produce certainly some big-time earthquakes in the Caribbean, but on a much smaller scale. You see the Pacific plate here. That's what this the jagged line represents. The plate is going underneath a bunch of other different plates, and there are a few more fault lines in here than just a couple of plates, but the big one's the Pacific plate that goes underneath, and when it keeps on going, and then all of a sudden it ruptures, it forces up all of that water, and that's where you get the earthquake and then eventually tsunami to develop. Closer to home, of course, we're worrying about some thunderstorms. Nothing severe out there, just a couple of lightning strikes just southwest of Bunnell, hanging around the Ocala National Forest, just to the west, in between Ocala, also around just south of Fort McCoy as well. A couple of downpours trying to get going around Lake Apopka tonight. We're going to see a few more of these try to bubble up through the course of the evening, and some of these are going to linger into the evening like what we saw last week. There we go, 7, 8 o'clock tonight, or last night I should say. There's the I-4 corridor, and I think it's mainly along into the east of I-4 tonight, so a little bit of an opposite go of things later on this evening. We'll see those storms wind down. I think tomorrow we're going to wake up on the drier side. And again, if you want to track those storms, if you have plans tonight, also there's lightning detection in the palm of your hand. If there's a lightning strike within 10 miles, you're going to get an alert, so you can make sure you can dial up that radar and then hightail it inside to stay away from that danger. There's 4 to 5 o'clock this evening, or tomorrow evening, a few more scattered thunderstorms again popping up, I think, to a lower clip than what we'll see tonight. 99 in Titusville, Kissimmee, we're at 96. The heat index still rough at 108. Palm Coast, our heat index is at 110 degrees right now. It is an actual air temperature of 94, so that humidity is juiced. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen.
Okay, so here are those improvements again. We're going back from the upper 90s to the middle 90s across most of Central Florida. We're down to 96 tomorrow, a degree cooler than where we were today. Rain chances back up to 50%. And we're going to increase those rain chances further as we get into the end of the work week and start of the weekend. It's a cold front. It's going to stall across North Florida. That's where the most widespread and heaviest rainfall is going to fall as we move towards Saturday into Sunday, but that will also help to increase our rain chances as well, to help things a little bit, especially once we get into the afternoon. We're keeping things in the mid-90s Friday and Saturday, but there go those rain chances back up to 60% on Saturday, 70% on Sunday, and we're keeping those elevated rain chances right on through the early stages of next work week.
Love to see it. Thanks, Jonathan. Now to a big effort to stop speeding drivers.
It's dangerous, especially crossing that street. You have to be careful. People get hit too.
The roads deputies are targeting and if it's working. That's next.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
On Monday, we first told you about a major crackdown on speeding with deputies targeting 3 major roads. Today, News 6's Volusia County community correspondent Angie Casada hit the road to see how it's working.
If you regularly drive on US 17 or maybe State Road 11 heading towards DeLand, even State Road 40, you might have noticed more patrol cars are out. The Volusia County Sheriff says it's a direct response to a wave of recent crashes, and he's sending a clear message to drivers. 3 high-traffic roads in West Volusia now getting extra attention from law enforcement. Sheriff deputies are increasing patrols, targeting speeding and aggressive driving on US 17, State Road 11, and State Road 40.
I think when you look at what has been happening up there, we had 2 folks who ran a railroad crossing and got killed. You know, one of my deputies' daughters was killed up there recently.
And it's not just a few extra patrols.
Is it lighting? Is it, what do we need to do? Because going out there and writing tickets is great. It's a temporary fix. What do we need to do to stop our young people from dying up there on that roadway?
Drivers tell us they're seeing a noticeable presence, and many say it's needed.
I've seen a few accidents and they speed. You know, it's like a little mini highway, but it's dangerous, especially crossing that street. You have to be careful. People get hit too.
The enforcement will continue for the coming weeks as deputies monitor crash trends and driver behavior.
Historically, they have been bad. So we have flooded the area since the beginning of June, and we've probably written over, I'll tell you right now, we've written over 117 tickets, given out 28 warnings, and we have 11 criminal citations.
No timeline yet on when this enforcement will scale back, but for now, deputies say they'll be out as long as they need to be. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Angie Casada, News 6.
A local city is getting ready for the school year.
Another Central Florida city is turning to cameras to try to crack down on speeding in school zones. We'll tell you when drivers in Mount Dora could be hit with a $100 fine if they're caught speeding.
Pearson town leaders have decided to end their contract with the Volusia Sheriff's Office. I'm Molly Reed. Coming up, I'll tell you what that potentially means for response times.
Welcome back. We're following several top stories right now. First, the war of words between the Orange County mayor and Florida's attorney general. Orange County is refusing to transport ICE detainees. Mayor Jerry Demings argues it's a matter of resources, so he wants to make sure the county gets compensated. Attorney General James Uthmeyer says if Demings does not comply with the state and starts transporting these detainees, he could be removed from office. Two Osceola County Sheriff's Office employees are facing criminal charges. Interim Sheriff Christopher Blackman claims his predecessor, Marcos Lopez, turned a blind eye to one of those reported crimes. Prosecutors say they unlawfully accessed computer systems. The incidents happened in 2024. Lawrence Doherty, the man who shot and killed former Orlando Magic player Adrian Payne, has been found guilty of second-degree murder. Payne, who played for the Magic during the 2017-2018 season, was shot and killed in the Econ Landing neighborhood outside Doherty's townhouse. His sentencing is set for August 29th. Turning now to video just into our newsroom showing a deputy-involved shooting from July 5th that left a man critically injured. We're told deputies on traffic detail near Orlando Central Parkway and President's Drive ended up chasing after a man who they say had a gun. Now we're going to play part of that video that shows the moments deputies caught up to him, and we do want to warn you, you may find some of it disturbing.
Oh, I'm gonna get you! Oh, I'm gonna get you, bro! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Hey, don't reach! Oh! Ow! Ow! Stop! 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 Is that a gun?
Now, we are not showing the moments 18-year-old Giovanni Torres was shot several times and badly hurt. OCSO says they did recover a gun. Torres is charged with aggravated assault with a firearm on a law enforcement officer. The two deputies who opened fire are both on paid leave pending an FDLE review. People who live in Pearson got what they call an alarming message in the mail from the county sheriff. He said they are pulling their emergency services. News 6's Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed went to the sheriff and town leaders to get answers.
The sheriff says as of right now, Pearson town leadership has decided to end its contract with the sheriff's office in November after 34 years of it providing service here. Now, this is the letter Pearson residents just got in the mail from the sheriff, leaving many of them worried.
I don't understand why they would do that, but it's not a good thing.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood says the town wanting to end its contract with his office came as a surprise to him, too. Pearson, Deltona, DeBary, and Oak Hill all currently contract with the sheriff's office as their main law enforcement service, meaning they don't have their own police departments. The contract size depends on the population and size of the town or city.
Enhanced services is what they pay for, okay? That means that 12 hours a day, 365 days a year, there is a deputy assigned to the city of Pearson.
Sheriff Chitwood says the Pearson Town Council decided not to pay for the enhanced services anymore, all due to cost.
Because for 4 years I held the cost down. Finally, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Healthcare, pay raises, vehicles, pension, all that goes up. We have to raise our rates. We're not making money off this. You're paying for the service. It's actually dollar for dollar.
Now, without having deputies here 24/7 in Pearson, the sheriff says that means if there's an emergency here, residents will have to wait for the deputies nearest in Volusia County to respond. Now, I reached out to Pearson town leaders today to ask questions, but did not get a response. Instead, the town posted this to its Facebook page after Chitwood's letter went out. It says the town council decided to end the current contract to avoid being locked into enhanced services at 10% higher cost.
Not patrolling is not a good thing. I mean, the response time is what?
Could go up.
You know, I mean, 5, 10, 20 minutes.
The sheriff says he is open to talk about this contract with the town. Again, we have not heard back from Pearson town leaders at this time. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Students in Volusia County elementary and middle schools can no longer use their cell phone at any point during the school day. Last night, the school board unanimously signed off on the new policy, which puts the county in line with a new state law. High school students will only be able to use their phones if it's tied to a lesson and approved by a teacher. While parents say it makes sense, they still have some concerns.
I get what they're doing, and I support the fact that it's hard having schools with cell phones, but as a parent, I also can understand our concern as well. So it's kind of like it's hard to balance.
The new rule will take effect when the new school year begins. And we are just 2 weeks away from the first day of school for most of Central Florida, and that means parents and teachers are already buying those back-to-school supplies. News 6 is helping teachers start the year strong. We've created a county-by-county gift list with the supplies they need most. Scan the QR code you see on your screen. You can also find the links at clickorlando.com/back-to-school. It is one great way to support our educators together. A live look now at Mount Dora. It's the next Central Florida city adding cameras to school zones to catch speeders. From Osceola to Palm Bay and Eustis, local cities and counties are turning to these cameras. News 6's Mount Dora community correspondent Emily McLeod explains why the cameras are going up and what drivers need to know.
Beginning August 13th, if you're caught speeding in one of 3 school zones here in Mount Dora, you'll be hit with a warning. But eventually that warning could turn into a $100 fine. It's the same school zone speed camera system we told you about in Eustis. After conducting some traffic studies, the city of Mount Dora and the Mount Dora Police Department felt it was time to install the cameras in order to crack down on speeding in school zones.
I'm very excited. I think this is going to be a great thing. The whole point of this program is to ensure that the kids are protected every day that they're in school.
Before the school zone cameras were approved by the Mount Dora City Council, the police department conducted traffic studies at Triangle Elementary School, Round Lake Charter, Mount Dora Middle, and Mount Dora High School. Sergeant Elizabeth Kruger found the results shocking.
They were quite concerning, to be honest with you. The data that we had for, we did a total of 4 traffic studies. One of them was Round Lake, where we had 450 violators for one day.
Round Lake wasn't the only school with concerning numbers. Triangle Elementary School had 450 violations, and Mount Dora Middle had 116 violations along Lincoln Avenue, with all of these drivers going 10 miles or more above the speed limit.
If we implement this program, this is going to keep our community safe, our kids safe, our staff safe, and this is going to be a way to slow these cars down.
The cameras will look for speeders during the entire school day when school is in session, not just when lights are flashing on school zone signs. A 45-day warning period begins August 13th. After that, violators could get a $100 fine, with each violation viewed by a Mount Dora police officer before a fine is issued.
My goal would be to have 0 violators. That is my goal.
As for the $100 fine, $60 is split between the city and the vendor of the cameras, $12 goes to the school district, $23 goes to the state, and $5 goes to school crossing guards. The cameras are set to be installed on August 11th, but the warning period begins on August 13th. Now, if you find yourself facing one of those $100 fines after the warning period ends, you have 30 days to either appeal the fine or pay it. I'm your Mount Dora community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
People in Winter Garden have been reaching out to us and saying they're concerned about an increased fire fee. It was a packed house during the second community meeting last night before commissioners take a final vote. The fire fee is set to be used to help make up a $12 million budget shortfall. At last night's meeting, city leaders told people the cost of the fire services and policing are on the rise. But people who live in Winter Garden are upset about the fee, which starts at more than $300.
The tax now wants to go up. You want assessments, you want increase. Guess what? The pockets are empty.
A final vote on the fee is expected to happen August 14th. There is a growing list of cities and counties discussing fire fees. On Monday, Sanford moved forward on a plan to raise taxes to pay for fire services to help keep up with the city's growth. The first reading of the plan passed unanimously. And last month, Sanford's mayor told us the average homeowner would pay about $95 a year. The new fee needs to pass on a second reading. Earlier this year, Brevard County approved a 37% increase. Kissimmee also passed a fee to hire more firefighters after dealing with high turnover. A big stretch of the turnpike is set to close overnight. Here's a live look now near Yeehaw Junction. The northbound side will be closed between Yeehaw Junction and U.S. Highway 441. That's from exit 193 to 242. From midnight to 5 tomorrow morning, you will not be able to drive northbound for 51 miles. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez shows us the detour.
We went ahead and drove the detour that FDOT is suggesting to give people an idea of what they can expect if they need to take it during the overnight closure.
From midnight to 5 a.m. Thursday, you won't be able to drive northbound on Florida's Turnpike, at least for 51 miles of it. The northbound tollway will be closed between Yeehaw Junction and U.S. Highway 441. That's from exit 193 to 242. It's part of Osceola County's Neptune Road widening and improvement project. According to FDOT, the closure is needed for crews to be able to install bridge beams at the Neptune Road Bridge. There is a posted detour for people that need to use the turnpike during the overnight hours. It starts here, where drivers going northbound will need to get off of the turnpike at exit 193 at Yeehaw Junction and State Road 60. Then you'll be on State Road 60 until you get to US 441. You'll stay on 441 all the way until you get to US 192. That's when you'll turn left to hop on that one and stay on it until you finally get back to the turnpike. Here's how all of that looks on a map. It shows the route there to the right of the turnpike. How long it'll take you depends on traffic. Overnight, it could be less of a headache since there's less traffic, but being prepared to take an alternate route is recommended. There is a service plaza in the middle of the turnpike where this will be closed. It's Canoe Creek. Now, if you find yourself there and you still need to go north, you will have to also go south to Yeehaw Junction to be able to take the detour. Reporting by the turnpike, I'm Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
All right, to be clear, if you missed any of that, you can find it all on clickorlando.com. Well, this week, Matt Austin is trying a sports bar in Orlando. We'll show you a spot on the I-4 food tour that has a menu from 2 Top Chef alumni.
Looking good. We're also watching some storms fire up tonight as expected, closer to I-75 right now. These are drifting to the north and east, more right along I-95. We're going to pinpoint where these are headed, and we'll talk about those rain chances increasing by the weekend in a few minutes.
And don't forget to watch us on News 6 Plus. Matt and I have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. At 9:30, Jonathan is tracking the tropics, the heat, and answering your weather questions. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
This is a lot of people to watch me eat. What do you get when you mix Top Golf with top chefs? We're going to show you on the I-4 food tour.
But before we get to that food, let's check out some RVs from our sponsor, Giant Recreation World.
You know, there's ribs and then there's like our ribs that are absolutely incredible. So these are tossed in a really delicious barbecue sauce. And then the secret is we have this brown sugar spiced rub that we kind of coat on the outside and finish them in the salamander. So it kind of brulees the ribs. And then we top them with these delicious spicy and sweet pickled Fresnos.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, it's all about that sweet heat.
These right here are the bruleed barbecued ribs, and I have never seen this before, but they come with a pickled red jalapeno that I'm told is pretty spicy. Let's give it a try. I'm going with 3 S's on this. We have sweet, we have salty, and we have smoky. Delicious ribs. I don't think I've ever had ribs with that much flavor going on. It's crazy. And the key to a good rib is, can you just pull them right off the bone? It's too easy. This is a fantastic rib dish. Not something you would expect at a regular old sports bar. Clearly this is not that. The Stadium Club at the Caribe Royale. You can watch sports, you can play sports, and the food is ridiculous.
Sponsored by Giant Recreation World. Visit Giant Recreation World today.
Without fail, I want to sample everything my eyes just feasted on. Yeah, meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now, and you got some stuff on the radar behind you.
Yeah, this is helping out. Obviously, watch out for the lightning. We don't have anything severe out there, which is good news, and it's helping to cool us down, especially around Marion County tonight. We have those lightning strikes. In and around Ocala, we have more thunderstorms firing up right along the Lake Sumter County line. These are drifting back up to the north and east. A little beefy thunderstorm getting going right on the southern end of Flagler County here tonight. This is going to try to drift back toward Daytona Beach. The sky is certainly getting dark at the beach. If you have plans to maybe go out onto the sand around Palm Coast or into Marineland, into Beverly Beach, Daytona Beach, you can just be careful because that lightning is going to get very, very close to the beaches over the next little bit. Future Radar doing a very nice job tonight showing where those storms are. This is the East Coast sea breeze here. That's 7 o'clock, so it heads up around Deltona, Sanford, Lake Mary, Heathrow. There's likely going to be some storms around. Then also around I-4 from about Lakeland, closer to Claremont, Mineola, Montverde. We're going to be watching for you guys. There's 9 to 10 o'clock tonight. I think we'll hang on to a few of these storms late, just like what we did last night. You can track these storms alongside us tonight by downloading that free News 6 weather app. Of course, lightning detection comes with it. You'll get a push alert if you download that app if there's lightning within 10 miles of where you're located. There's 2 o'clock through the afternoon tomorrow. A few more thunderstorms try to fire back up. And at least to help keep us on the cool side, relatively speaking, at least help to cool us down into the afternoon. Nothing going on here at the port. It's a live look. Port Canaveral, Brevard County tonight. With our Launch Credit Union camera, we have temperatures back to the mid-90s. Lots of sunshine along the coast right now. The breeze at about 10 to 15 miles an hour through the course of the afternoon. Claremont, good evening. We're at 95. Our heat index is still 108, so again, it's brutal out there. 95 in Leesburg. Wildwood, good evening. We are at 93. New Smyrna, we're checking in at 91 with a heat index, again, of 108. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
Still keeping the heat advisory rolling. We're starting to back off the actual air temperature just a smidge, likely just by a degree. We're still putting us at 96 again in Orlando. Forecast for you guys in Bushnell, we're at 96. In Bunnell, we're back to the mid-90s as well. 50% shot for thunderstorms tomorrow, and that's going to continue to go up over the next couple of days. The good news is, relatively speaking, and we keep on showing the heat risk map, and certainly you never like to see the purple blotches on here representing the extreme heat risk. However, that continues to shrink and shrink, and I do think that's going to happen further as well as we get deeper into the next couple of days and through the weekend due to the fact that we're going to increase rain chances. Now, on the long go of things, looking long range, of course, we're in the hottest stretch of the year, climatologically speaking. Through about August 20th, our highest average high temperature is 92. August 21st, that drops a degree, and then you see by the time we get to Halloween, our average high temperature gets to 81. Again, that's not a forecast. That's our average high temperature. Over the next 7 days, we're still in the mid-90s. Rain chances going up, though, for the weekend, Ginger.
Jonathan, thank you. Now to growing water bill frustrations in Deltona.
The water bill has increased drastically in the last year and a half. So I'm on a fixed income.
You reached out to us and we got answers. See what we found next.
Coming up in the morning, another local city going high-tech to fight crime.
Where police are getting access to dozens of new cameras and now homeowners can sign up to help.
Plus, our stretch of sizzling weather continues. Candace will track those temperatures hour by hour.
We'll see you for News 6 Mornings starting at 6.
Try to farm some engagement. Hey, buddy.
I'm Angie Casada, your Volusia County community correspondent, and I read through all of the complaints that you sent me. A lot of people here in Deltona are frustrated with their water bills. Well, the city says there could be a reason behind those spikes, and they're encouraging folks to come out to get a full breakdown to see what's going on. It's a frustration rippling through Deltona. Residents like Jose are seeing shocking water bills.
I've been a resident here for approximately almost 40 years.
Wow.
And the water bill has increased drastically in the last year and a half. So I'm on a fixed income. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that can't afford to the bills nowadays.
The city says a few common issues could be to blame.
I would say that there's usually 3 things that cause a higher bill,
including sprinkler systems, leaky toilets, or unbalanced water softeners, which can flush constantly and go unnoticed. The city says it serves about 38,000 customers, but only 8,000 are on sewer. That small number has to support the cost of treatment, which is why the sewer rates are higher than average. As of Friday, every home in Deltona will have a new smart meter, part of a push to improve transparency and encourage conservation.
if you do have a problem with your bill, or you feel like there's a problem with your bill, contact the city, and we will do our very best to figure out what's happening.
City leaders say if you have a concern, don't wait. Bring your bill to City Hall and ask for a breakdown. The first phase of the smart meter app is expected to roll out in September, and if you think your bill is off, the city says that they want to help you figure out why. Reporting in Deltona, I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Angie Casava, News 6.
How can News 6 get answers for you? Go to the News 6 app or clickorlando.com and click Contact Us and let us know how we can help. News 6 at 5 is next. Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead.
We are continuing to follow a war of words between Orange County's top man and the state's top prosecutor, what the Attorney General said in response to strong words from the mayor earlier today. And all new at 5, a beloved teacher let go after her school said she used improper pronouns is learning if she'll be allowed to return to the classroom. The state's decision after the break. And making a list and checking it twice. We're not talking about the man in red, but Oviedo's mayor, the naughty list she's come up with of people living in her city. Your forecast is only minutes away. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts and live cameras like this one at Daytona Beach for free anytime on News 6 Plus.
Hello. Sorry, I'm really shaken up about the story. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they just gave me a courtesy laugh. Just a polite laugh. Like, ugh.
The story. I thought they were talking to me. I was like, why? What was your power you wish you had?
That, like, I wish I
I spent more years patrolling our streets as a law enforcement officer than he's been alive.
Look at the law. The law is what it is. We've got a duty to enforce it.
Now at 5, a back and forth between Orange County leaders and the state's top prosecutor. Plus, why 2 members of an embattled sheriff's office were just arrested. You're watching News 6 at 5. It is an escalating war of words over immigration between the state attorney general and Orange County leaders.
Yeah, News 6's Troy Campbell spoke with AG James Uthmeyer today on comments made by Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings. Mayor Demings, who spoke to News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez about a letter the county received about ICE transports. We begin with Troy with the latest from the state attorney general.
Yeah, we asked Attorney General James Uthmeyer about the letter he sent to Orange County government. He says he doesn't understand why they're simply not following the law. Attorney General, what's your reaction to Mayor Demings saying today if they did do these transports, they, 1, need more resources, and 2, they would need more reimbursement? And do you have a message for any possible consequences if they don't agree to these transports at all?
Well, I think the law has some pretty strict consequences, including removal in it, if it comes to that. If there are some, prohibitive resource constraints, and those would need to be laid out. But it seemed like the county just decided they weren't going to do this. There wasn't a whole lot of explanation or justification. So again, I hope they come around. I certainly think they have the ability to help transfer some detainees over to ICE upon the request of ICE and the sheriffs.
Do you plan on having a conversation with Mayor Demings then about the possibilities moving forward of how you can come together on this?
If it comes to saving lives and protecting our cities and our counties, I will have a conversation with absolutely anybody, anywhere.
And Uthmeyer also says he's not opposed to picking up the phone and having a conversation with Mayor Demings on the issue to try to find a resolution. In Marion County, I'm your community correspondent, Troy Campbell, News 6.
All right, Troy, thank you. Now, the Attorney General's comments come after the Orange County mayor expressed concerns about a letter he received from the AG's office yesterday.
So that letter accused the county of violating the law by not transporting people arrested by immigration officials to other parts of the state.
News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez continues our team coverage live from the county administration building in Orlando. Stephanie.
The mayor told me that the media actually got that letter before his office did yesterday. Now, the AG sent the letter to Demings and the board telling them to sign the amended ICE agreement and transport detainees or face the consequences, including potential removal from office. But the mayor says the county already cooperates with ICE and that it supports what he called lawful immigration. Demings claims that taking resources from Orange County to transport immigrants to other areas of the state will make the county less safe because those resources are going to be pulled elsewhere away from the county. He also accused the AG of bullying law enforcement agencies in the state to get them to comply.
I will put my 44 years of public service and my 37 plus years of law enforcement experience on the line to say that I want balance. I am not going to be bullied by the state attorney general, if you will, who is just ambitious.
Now, since the number of detainees has increased substantially recently, Demings also tells me the county wants to renegotiate the amount of reimbursement it gets for holding them. Now, as for the threats to remove him and others from office, Deming again said that he feels that the AG is being what he calls over-ambitious. The county board will meet on Tuesday. We can expect to hear more from Demings and other commissioners during that meeting. Reporting live in Orange County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Stephanie, thank you. We're going to keep a close eye on this story and all the developments coming out of it. Keep an eye at clickorlando.com for the latest.
We're also following breaking news out of Osceola County tonight, where 2 members of the sheriff's office have been arrested.
This, of course, comes weeks after the sheriff himself, Marcos Lopez, was arrested on racketeering charges.
News 6's Mike Valenti joins us now live from Osceola County tonight. And Mike, this has nothing to do with the former sheriff's case, but his name was brought up today.
Yeah, so Ginger Matt, Sheriff Blackman accused Marcos Lopez of knowing about one of the now charged employees' actions and not doing anything about it.
And when I came into this office and agency, I promised the public that we would operate with honesty and integrity, and we will continue to do that on the same path going forward. Sadly, we're here gathered for this press conference to inform you that Two of our employees have broken that sacred trust that's instilled upon us.
Those two employees are 64-year-old Cassandra Worthland and Kyle Henry. The latter is a deputy sheriff now on administrative leave and arrested Wednesday on charges of unlawful use of a two-way communication device and unauthorized access to a computer system. Sheriff Christopher Blackman says this happened in May of 2024, when Henry was apparently trying to get access to information not relevant to his job.
We found this information, but the prior administration knew about this and failed to act on it.
And when you say the prior administration, did this go as high as Marcos Lopez?
Absolutely, yes.
Marcos Lopez has not been charged in connection to Henry, but he is already under heavy legal scrutiny. The embattled suspended sheriff was arrested in June on charges of racketeering, accused of running an illegal gambling enterprise that racked up millions of dollars in revenue. As for Cassandra Worthland, Blackman says Lopez did not know about her alleged activities. The former digital evidence specialist is accused of texting her husband and others outside the agency internal information, including body camera footage from an officer-involved shooting and an employee's personnel file.
But as I told the public from the beginning, we're going to build trust and integrity back with the agency. So we've looked into the cases that were brought to our attention.
So notably, Blackman did not provide any evidence to demonstrate what Marcos Lopez knew and when. I did reach out to Marcos Lopez's attorney who's representing him in the racketeering case. She told me over the phone that she had no idea that this press conference was happening. She was not aware of what Blackman was alleging his predecessor to have known. She told me that she was going to consult with her co-counsel and then get back to me. We're live outside the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, thank you. Again, there is a lot going on at the Osceola County Sheriff's Office outside of this case. And in case you're unfamiliar with what's happening, suspended Sheriff Marcos Lopez was arrested on racketeering charges last month. You heard Mike talk about that. You can find our extensive coverage on the investigation into this case on clickorlando.com.
Some more breaking news at 5. A Brevard teacher under scrutiny from the state for using a student's preferred name will get to keep her teaching credentials. To get you up to speed on this story, earlier this year, Brevard schools opted not to renew an AP English teacher named Melissa Calhoun's contract after a parent's complaint sparking protests. Calhoun was accused of violating a Florida law requiring parental consent for teachers to call students by anything other than their legal name. Today, at a state education board meeting, the state approved a settlement with Calhoun. She will now be on probation for 1 year. She'll have to pay a $750 fine, among some other stipulations. News 6's Jarrell Baker was at today's hearing, and we'll have much more coming up on News 6 at 6.
The man accused of shooting and killing a former Orlando Magic player has been found guilty. Lawrence Doherty took the stand in the trial, claiming he killed Adrian Payne in self-defense, but a jury ruled otherwise. News 6's Laverne McGee has been covering the trial and spoke with Payne's family after the verdict.
I was in the courtroom when the jury read the verdict. Doherty was let out of the courtroom in handcuffs while Payne's family cheered. The family of Adrian Payne cheered as they left the Orange County Courthouse just after hearing the jury find Lawrence Doherty guilty of his murder.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of second-degree murder.
Payne played for the Orlando Magic for the 2017-2018 season. Orange County Sheriff's Office says he was shot and killed outside a townhouse in a complex off Curry Ford Road. Investigators say Payne was trying to help Doherty's girlfriend, who was involved in a domestic dispute back in May of 2022. Their girlfriends were good friends.
I'm Antoine Payne. Adrian was my little brother. I'm just happy that justice was served. It took a long time. We've been waiting 3 years for this, and I'm just glad that it's been done and the jury did their duty because we needed to get this menace off the streets, and I'm glad he's gone.
Lawrence will be sentenced on August 29th. In Orange County, Laverne McGee, News 6.
Well, health officials are warning people in Brevard County to keep an eye out for a sickness spread by mosquitoes. The health department says there have been 4 confirmed cases of locally acquired dengue fever. The illness can present like the flu with severe muscle aches, joint pain, fever, and sometimes a rash. Usually there are no respiratory symptoms. Now, these symptoms usually show 15 days after being bitten by an infected mosquito. It is not contagious person to person. Last August, Orange County sprayed for mosquitoes after a number of cases of dengue fever there. Officials say they'll begin overnight spraying to reduce the risk of transmission.
A popular energy drink is being recalled because it may actually give you a different kind of buzz. High Noon has issued a voluntary recall of its vodka seltzer after some cases were mislabeled as Celsius energy drinks, which could lead some people to accidentally drinking alcohol. The FDA says cases of High Noon's beach variety packs were shipped with cans of its vodka-based seltzer that were mislabeled as energy drinks. They were shipped from July 21st to July 23rd. The company says it was a, quote, labeling error from our can supplier. The FDA said no illnesses or adverse events have been reported. Well, with hot temps this week, a lot of people have been flocking to the water to cool down. Next at 5, the Central Florida community keeping a close eye on how much water is being used. Jonathan.
Yeah, and heads up if you're in the Volusia County on the beaches there or in Flagler County. We have a very electrified thunderstorm just inland of I-95. Lightning strikes already striking on the beaches, so get off the beaches for sure. We're going to talk about where these storms are headed in a few minutes.
And later, it's not Kilimanjaro. Meet the man who conquered Florida's highest peaks, no matter how tall they are. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
All right, here's a question. What do Santa Claus and Oviedo's mayor have in common? They're both making lists.
The mayor announced on social media this morning she's putting together a list of people who use too much water. But that post left us with a few questions.
Yeah, for example, like who's on the list? What type of water usage are we talking about? And could people get in trouble because of this?
News 6's Jana Manohalal sat down with the mayor to get some answers.
The mayor's list is starting with 4 neighborhoods: McKinley's Mill, Bentley Woods, Twin Rivers East, and Twin Rivers West, with the 30 highest users in each one.
It's neighborhood by neighborhood, so the idea is to get similar HOA rules, similar lot sizes, and just similarly situated properties and say, you know what, which ones are using the most water? So those people at least are aware, because they may not even know.
But it's not in-home water usage that's making the water bills so high. It's watering yards.
So really, we need people to stop using drinking water on their grass to do the most we can for the aquifer.
Do you think they even know that they're using potable water?
No. A lot of people, I don't think, realize it.
Sladig says these neighborhoods don't have access to reclaimed waters, but there is a quick fix. Use plants that don't use a ton of water.
So I have in my front yard that I do not irrigate, I have patches of St. Augustine. The roots, I'm not kidding you, they are 9 inches deep. St. Augustine can grow in very dry conditions, and if you put 4 inches of water on it, oh, it's happy.
But the biggest question of them all is, do people need to be scared of this list? Short answer is no.
Go pick a yard that you think looks good, that's not on that list, and see, do you want your bill to be more like that person's, or do you want to keep on paying all this money to have your yard look like it does?
In Oviedo, Jana Manahalal, News 6.
I mean, I think it's going to be easy to find those people because their lawns are perfectly green.
I would hope, but what if they just have a leak or something? You know, it could point that out to them.
All right. Interesting.
Well, we don't have to worry about water in the lawn today. As you can see, meteorologist Jonathan Keg is tracking some storms right now.
At least for some of us. Yeah, they're not everywhere. We do have a couple of ones packing a punch here this evening, especially along the I-95 corridor. There's nothing severe at this point, but certainly some very gusty winds. And then look at all the lightning striking out into the Atlantic again. So if you're thinking about heading out into the beach or into the water, think twice. From about Ponce Inlet down to Port Orange, Deltona Beach, as these things continue to spread down the highway and work its way through right along the coast. If you want to track these storms alongside us tonight, grab that News 6, grab your phone and download the free News 6 weather app again. You're going to get lightning detection as well. Further back down I-4, we have a couple of little guys starting to pop up, but there's some lightning with them around Sanford. We were talking about you guys earlier that we would likely see the increase of thunderstorm chances anyway from Sanford back to Lake Mary and to Heathrow, and there they are on the other side of I-4 tonight, kind of developing just north of Apopka and Zellwood, Tangerine just to your east. These are going to be working their way back up the I-4 corridor tonight. We have more thunderstorms, one little downpour around Lake Apopka this evening. Bellevue, we are still dealing with some thunderstorms. That cell that I've been tracking for you guys for the last couple of hours has a weekend, but there's still some lightning with that. So again, be mindful if you're planning on going out, even though the rain has lightened up, there's still lightning with that. The storms that try to get going along the Lake Sumter line tonight falling apart. I think we're going to see things reinvigorate over the next couple of hours, especially along into the east of I-4. I think Future Radar doing a nice job tonight showing us a 7 o'clock hour. Some of these storms, like last night, kind of lingering late, not moving much, so it could be watching for some flooding potential again in localized areas where there's poor drainage and things like that. Not a widespread deal by any means, but certainly those slow-moving thunderstorms are out there. 6, 7 o'clock on your Thursday morning, everybody dry. We'll see a few more storms fire up again once we get into the afternoon. Some cooling thunderstorms, at least for some of us. Still, though, we're going to keep things painfully hot. We're at 99 right now in Titusville. We could use a cooling thunderstorm. 94 in Cocoa Beach. Melbourne, we are at 91. The heat index at 102. That's the little number there in red. Lakeland, we're at 97. Wildwood, we're checking in at 93 degrees. High temperatures tomorrow, back to the middle 90s again. We're going to slowly try to get out of the bigger heat that we've been in over the past couple of days. Rain chances holding at about 50% tomorrow. Now, we're going to see those rain chances continue to increase for us over the next couple of days. We're fast forwarding from Friday into the weekend. There's this cold front here. We don't get the benefit of it passing through Central Florida. We know once we get to about May, we start to see these stop, and they don't start coming through again until about mid-October or so. So this is not going to pass us through and give us a nice refreshing feel by any means, but it will help to increase rain chances a little bit. Certainly the most widespread stuff will be in north central Florida, but you see the green and yellow starting to pop up there as we take things out to Sunday, increasing the rain chances again with that front in the vicinity of us again over the next couple of days, really settling in Friday and through your weekend. Rain chances going up on Saturday, 60% shot. Still not a washout if you have plans. 70% chance for rain on Sunday. We're keeping things into the mid-90s, a little bit hotter again towards the middle of next work week, guys.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. You could pop open your camera app, scan that QR code on your screen and click the link. You'll want to see your weather pictures and videos. They could end up on TV. You can also go to clickorlando.com/pins and upload your pics and videos that way.
Well, after the break, hear from the man who conquered every Florida peak, some bigger than others.
Major traffic alert for tonight. Now, you've probably heard us talk about this 100 times here on News 6 already, but we want to let you know. So the Florida Turnpike northbound through Osceola County from about State Road 60, at State Road 60 will be shut down northbound from midnight till 5 in the morning. You're going to be rerouted to 441 through the eastern portion of Kissimmee. Just make sure you're paying attention to the signs there, and they'll get you around it. I'm Trooper Steve with the News 6 traffic alert. Drive carefully, and I'll catch you in the morning.
Here's a live look at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back. Well, our state is known for sunshine, not so much mountains. Florida is the flattest state in the country.
Yeah, but CBS's Steve Hartman went on the road with someone looking for the highest points across our state. Where he ended up may surprise. I admire the fact that he went out to every single county. I think we've been to the highest one here in Central Florida when we went to Claremont.
Oh, yes.
It's 305 feet.
That is.
He is
a modern day Ferdinand Magellan. Well, look at this guy go.
Oh,
but
my
I think
God.
he's kind of poking fun. In Colorado, they have people who do the 14ers.
Yeah,
they go to the
yeah.
14,000 foot. That was good stuff. I love that
Crazy.
story. All right, neighbors in one Volusia County community are voicing their concerns after getting a letter seeming to say that they'll no longer have law enforcement to protect them, how officials are calming their fears.
Plus, the new tools on the road by one school to keep kids safe on the way to their building.
And later, the long detour some early risers may be taking early tomorrow morning. Here's a live look at Daytona Beach. You're watching News 6. We appreciate that. Keep it here. We'll be right back.
Glad you're with us. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We're following several top stories for you right now.
Orange County is refusing to transport ICE detainees. Mayor Jerry Demings argues it's a matter of resources. He wants to make sure the county gets compensated. Attorney General James Uthmeyer says if Demings does not comply with the state and starts transporting these detainees, he could be removed from office.
2 Osceola County Sheriff's Office employees are facing criminal charges. Interim Sheriff Christopher Blackman claims his predecessor, Marcos Lopez, turned a blind eye to one of those reported crimes. Prosecutors say they unlawfully accessed computer systems. The incidents happened in 2024. Lawrence Doherty, the man who shot and killed former Orlando Magic player Adrian Payne, has been found guilty of second-degree murder. Payne, who played for the Magic during the 2017-2018 season, was shot and killed in the Econ Landing neighborhood outside Doherty's townhouse. His sentencing is set for August 29th.
Well, if you drive around a school zone in any Central Florida county, it's becoming more and more likely you'll find one of these. From Palm Bay to Eustis, cities and counties are turning to speed zone cameras to nab speeders, and another city is about to join this growing list. Your Mount Dora community correspondent Emily McLeod breaks down why the cameras are going up and what drivers need to know as kids head back to school.
Beginning August 13th, if you're caught speeding in one of 3 school zones here in Mount Dora, you'll be hit with a warning. But eventually that warning could turn into a $100 fine. It's the same school zone speed camera system we told you about in Eustis. After conducting some traffic studies, the city of Mount Dora and the Mount Dora Police Department felt it was time to install the cameras in order to crack down on speeding in school zones.
I'm very excited. I think this is going to be a great thing. The whole point of this program is to ensure that the kids are protected every day that they're in school.
Before the school zone cameras were approved by the Mount Dora City Council, the police department conducted traffic studies at Triangle Elementary School, Round Lake Charter, Mount Dora Middle, and Mount Dora High School. Sergeant Elizabeth Kruger found the results shocking.
They were quite concerning, to be honest with you. The data that we had we did a total of 4 traffic studies. One of them was Round Lake, where we had 450 violators for one day.
Round Lake wasn't the only school with concerning numbers. Triangle Elementary School had 450 violations, and Mount Dora Middle had 116 violations along Lincoln Avenue, with all of these drivers going 10 miles or more above the speed limit.
If we implement this program, this is going to keep our community safe, our kids safe, our staff safe, and this is going to be a way to slow these cars down.
The cameras will look for speeders during the entire school day when school is in session, not just when lights are flashing on school zone signs. A 45-day warning period begins August 13th. After that, violators could get a $100 fine, with each violation viewed by a Mount Dora police officer before a fine is issued.
My goal would be to have 0 violators. That is my goal.
As for the $100 fine, $60 is split between the city and the vendor of the cameras, $12 goes to the school district, $23 goes to the state, and $5 goes to school crossing guards. The cameras are set to be installed on August 11th, but the warning period begins on August 13th. Now, if you find yourself facing one of those $100 fines after the warning period ends, you have 30 days to either appeal the fine or pay it. I'm your Mount Dora community correspondent, Emily McLeod, News 6.
The Marion County Sheriff wants a University of Florida student deported and has a warning for UF employees. Sheriff Billy Woods made the comments during an afternoon press conference about a child sexting. One of the people arrested attends UF and is in the country on a student visa. Woods says he's in contact with the State Department and they've assured him the visa will be revoked. The sheriff says a university employee told him the student will only be thrown out of school if he's convicted.
Here's a clear message to the rest of their employees. And to that employee, now I may not have your name in front of me right now, but you better pray to God you're not a Marion County citizen, because I will do everything to ensure that I could get your out of my county.
Sheriff Woods says the university relented and expelled the student. We've reached out to UF to confirm the sheriff's claim and to get reaction. We'll let you know when we hear back.
Well, if your Volusia County community correspondent has been looking into concerns raised by people in Pearson, and they got to look at this letter. This is in the mail from the Volusia Sheriff, and in it, Sheriff Mike Chitwood says his office is pulling emergency services from Pearson, leaving people living there wondering
Who do I call for help, since the town really doesn't have its own police force? Molly Reed went to the sheriff and town leaders to get answers.
The sheriff says as of right now, Pearson town leadership has decided to end its contract with the sheriff's office in November after 34 years of it providing service here. Now, this is the letter Pearson residents just got in the mail from the sheriff, leaving many of them worried.
I don't understand why they would do that, but it's not a good thing.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood says the town wanting to end its contract with his office came as a surprise to him, too. Pearson, Deltona, DeBary, and Oak Hill all currently contract with the sheriff's office as their main law enforcement service, meaning they don't have their own police departments. The contract size depends on the population and size of the town or city.
Enhanced services is what they pay for, okay? That means that 12 hours a day, 365 days a year, there is a deputy assigned to the city of Pearson.
Sheriff Chitwood says the Pearson Town Council decided not to pay for the enhanced services anymore, all due to cost.
Because for 4 years I held the cost down. Finally, I can't do this anymore. Healthcare, pay raises, vehicles, pension, all that goes up. We have to raise our rates. We're not making money off this. You're paying for the service. It's actually dollar for dollar.
Now, without having deputies here 24/7 in Pearson, the sheriff says that means if there's an emergency here, residents will have to wait for the deputies nearest in Volusia County to respond. Now, I reached out to Pearson town leaders today to ask questions, but did not get a response. Instead, the town posted this to its Facebook page after Chitwood's letter went out. It says the town council decided to end the current contract to avoid being locked into enhanced services at 10% higher cost.
Not patrolling is not a good thing. I mean, the response time is what?
Could go up.
You know, I mean, 5, 10, 20 minutes.
The sheriff says he is open to talk about this contract with the town. Again, we have not heard back from Pearson town leaders at this time. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
A small plane made an emergency landing in the right turn lane on US 192 near Kissimmee. This video is from the scene just into our newsroom. It happened around noon today. Right near Ham Brown Road, the plane was carrying 2 people at the time and hit a car while it was coming down. Thankfully, no one was hurt. We'll let you know when we find out what caused the pilot to make this emergency landing.
President Trump is revealing new information about his falling out with Jeffrey Epstein, saying Epstein, quote, stole employees from his South Florida resort. CBS's Natalie Brand has those details as the DOJ is seeking to release more information on the grand jury in Epstein's sex trafficking case.
He took people, and because he took people, I said, don't do it anymore.
Speaking aboard Air Force One, President Trump gave more details into his falling out with Jeffrey Epstein, who he eventually banned from his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida.
I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago, and people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone.
The president acknowledged one of those workers was Virginia Gouffre, who alleges Ghislaine Maxwell approached her in the spa back in 2000 when she was only 16.
I was reading about anatomy and massage, and that's when Ghislaine came up to me.
Gouffre, whose family says died by suicide earlier this year, was one of Epstein's most public sex trafficking accusers. In a 2020 interview with Gayle King, she called Maxwell the mastermind of his sex trafficking operation.
She is a monster. She's worse than Epstein. She did things even worse than Epstein did. I would like to see Ghislaine stay in jail forever.
Maxwell is now appealing her 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking to the U.S. Supreme Court and to President Trump, asking for clemency.
On Wednesday, Senate Democrats announced plans to use a rarely invoked law to try to force Attorney General Pam Bondi to hand over all documents related to the Epstein files by August 15th, including the interviews conducted with Maxwell last week.
This administration is stonewalling and stalling and concealing, and the American people are rightly asking, what do they have to hide?
The House Oversight Committee also wants to hear from Maxwell, but a new letter from her attorney says she cannot risk further criminal exposure in a politically charged environment without formal immunity. A congressional spokesman says the committee will not consider granting immunity for her testimony.
The Trump administration, in a new court filing, provided some more details about its request to a New York federal court to unseal grand jury transcripts in the case, saying the government has notified all but one of the victims in the transcripts. The filing also cites intensifying public interest in the case. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Maxwell's defense lawyer also continues to talk openly about securing a pardon for his client, who is serving a 20-year prison sentence at a federal prison in Tallahassee. President Trump has refused to rule it out when asked on multiple occasions.
The National Transportation Safety Board began a 3-day investigative hearing on January's deadly mid-air collision between an Army Black Hawk and an American Airlines jet. This happened as the jet approached Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. The NTSB chair spoke to crash victims, loved ones at the hearings, saying the agency is doing all it can to find out what led to the disaster. There were some tense moments as questions focused on the helicopter's altitude and the busy airspace around Reagan National. 67 people were killed, making it the deadliest U.S. aviation disaster in decades. The pilot of the plane, an Ormond Beach native, graduated from Emory-Riddle University. The NTSB is examining several factors that may have led to the crash and may determine probable cause, but they won't assign blame. Any final recommendations on how to make aviation safer are still months away.
All right, let's take a live look now. This is inside Kennedy Space Center, where NASA is holding a pre-launch conference for the agency's SpaceX Crew 11 launch, which is happening tomorrow afternoon. The crew of 4 will head to the International Space Station on board the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft on top of this Falcon 9 rocket for a science mission. They expect to arrive at the station by Saturday, with the hatch opening around 4:45 in the morning. Again, this is the 11th crew rotation mission supported by spacecraft or SpaceX since 2020. Again, the launch will happen out of the Kennedy Space Center, Launch Complex 39A. That's tomorrow afternoon at 12:09. Be sure to tune in to News 6 at noon. News 6 Brevard County community correspondent James Barbero and I will be on location for the exciting moments leading up to and even after the launch. We will stream it live on News 6 Plus and clickorlando.com. We hope you join us. It should be exciting. Well, tonight, a long stretch of Orange County Road is set to close for some much needed work. We're driving the detour to see just how much it could be impacting your drive. Jonathan.
Take a look at this shot right now. This is a live look at Daytona Beach. There's that thunderstorm we've been tracking for you guys. The heavy rain in the distance. This has been electrified as well. Make sure if you're in Volusia County, you're off all the beaches right now. I'm going to pinpoint those storms to where you live in your community on the other side of this break.
Let's take a live look at the roads. This is the turnpike near Yeehaw Junction, and pretty soon it's going to be quiet there. You heard Trooper Steve mention it earlier. A major chunk of the turnpike spanning almost all of Osceola County is set to close overnight.
Yeah, the 51-mile stretch will be shut down for construction for 5 hours tomorrow. Your Osceola Community County correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez drove the scheduled detour and found it's a lot more complicated than the turnpike.
We went ahead and drove the detour that FDOT is suggesting to give people an idea of what they can expect if they need to take it during the overnight closure. From midnight to 5 a.m. Thursday, you won't be able to drive northbound on Florida's Turnpike, at least for 51 miles of it. The northbound tollway will be closed between Yeehaw Junction and U.S. Highway 441. That's from exit 193 to 242. It's part of Osceola County's Neptune Road widening and improvement project. According to FDOT, the closure is needed for crews to be able to install bridge beams at the Neptune Road Bridge. There is a posted detour for people that need to use the turnpike during the overnight hours. It starts here, where drivers going northbound will need to get off of the turnpike at exit 193 at Yeehaw Junction and State Road 60. Then you'll be on State Road 60 until you get to US 441. You'll stay on 441 all the way until you get to US 192. That's when you'll turn left to hop on that one and stay on it until you finally get back to the turnpike. Here's how all of that looks on a map. It shows the route there to the right of the turnpike. How long it'll take you depends on traffic. Overnight, it could be less of a headache since there's less traffic, but being prepared to take an alternate route is recommended. There is a service plaza in the middle of the turnpike where this will be closed. It's Canoe Creek. Now, if you find yourself there and you still need to go north, you will have to also go south to Yeehaw Junction to be able to take the detour. Reporting by the turnpike, I'm Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
All right, we showed you that camera near the turnpike, and it was live, and it looked like I saw like a rain shaft coming down out there. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. There is some action going on out there.
There is, yeah. A lot of thunderstorms, especially in Volusia County. They're starting to pop up, become a little more widespread, and you can clearly see this rain shaft here. You see the sunshine in the background, and then you see where the heavy rain is falling down over the ocean. Certainly a very dark shot. We've been watching this for the last 30 to 40 minutes, and there's been a lot of lightning here along the beach and out over the Atlantic. That's why we talked about before that started to slide in there to make sure that you are off the beaches tonight. We're at 86 degrees. Thanks to the thunderstorm there cooling us down just a little bit. This little green line that you see right through here, and again, you can always track these storms alongside me tonight by hanging out and downloading the News 6 weather app. It is free. You get lightning detection and, of course, the best resolution there on a phone app. But there are those thunderstorms. Again, highly electrified thunderstorm tonight. Also watching a storm just north of Astor, closer to Palatka this evening. Put this into motion for you to show where these storms are kind of firing up. And again, right along the East Coast sea breeze. So this is going to be an early heads up as we head towards New Smyrna Beach. We have a couple of thunderstorms already popping. So if you know anybody on the beach or you're planning on going out this evening onto the beach, give it a little bit of time as we do have those thunderstorms again working their way across. Also more thunderstorms trying to fire up right around the Lake County Sumter line. Everything kind of lifting up to the north over the next couple of hours, and I still think that we're going to see more fill in as we get deeper. There we go through 6, 7 o'clock. That's exactly what I'm talking about there with those extra thunderstorms in the mix. 8, 9, 10 tonight. A few of these could linger, especially along and then to the east of I-4, where we had it on the opposite side last night, lingering late with those storms that we had, bringing some pretty heavy rain, at least helping us cool down for a short time anyway. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll try to do it again. A few more thunderstorms along the East Coast sea breeze pushing in from the Atlantic there. Again, helping to cool some of us down tomorrow. Still a pretty hot afternoon. Live look at Port Canaveral, Brevard County tonight. It's a live look with our Launch Credit Union camera this evening. Temperatures back to the mid-90s under a mainly clear sky. That's helping to put our temperatures back into 96 in Kissimmee. Good evening in Claremont. We're at 96 as well. 96 in Leesburg. It still feels like 106 with the humidity factored in. Now here's a look at tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
Taking those baby steps. It's still in the mid-90s, but we're shaving a couple degrees off at least where we've been from the last couple of days. We're at 96 tomorrow in Orlando. I know it's still brutally hot in Groveland. We're at 96. Rain chances, though, a touch more elevated to at least give us that cooling thunderstorm into the afternoon and evening. We still have a ways to go until we're out of this completely. You guys know the drill here, but climatologically speaking, we are in our hottest stretch through August 20th. Our highest average high temperature is 92 degrees. It drops 1 degree on August 21st. This is the average temperature, not a forecast. 89 on September 22nd. And then by Halloween, our average temperature does dip into the lower 80s. So again, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. It's just a very, very long tunnel over the next couple of months. Tropical front, no new development expected over the next 7 days. There are those increasing rain chances we talked about through the weekend. Highs remain in the mid-90s, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Still to come, we'll introduce you to a good boy in need of an even better home.
Coming up in the morning, another local city going high-tech to fight crime.
Where police are getting access to dozens of new cameras and now homeowners can sign up to help.
Plus, our stretch of sizzling weather continues. Candace will track those temperatures hour by hour.
We'll see you for News 6 mornings starting at 6.
And take a break from those summer reruns and try out the all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. Matt and I have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9 o'clock. And then go in-depth as we track the tropics, the hot weather, and answer your weather questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It all starts tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
Well, this morning was a big day at Walker Middle School.
Today, Gift for Teaching is dropping off backpacks for our students.
More than 600 backpacks filled with school supplies dropped off as a part of the organization's Great Backpack Build. The school's principal says these backpacks are going to help students all school year, and they're a welcome relief for kids and parents.
A lot of kids, I think they feel bad when they can't start off the school year with important supplies, and it takes that stress off of the parents.
From now through August 27th, donations to A Gift for Teaching will be doubled. Every dollar the organization receives buys $20 worth of school supplies for students and teachers. It's a great organization. You can find info to donate at clickorlando.com/giftforteaching.
Trooper Steve went on patrol to the Orange County Animal Shelter today to highlight another dog in need of a good home. Steve met Oakley, a 1-year-old pup with a cleft lip who's up for adoption.
This is Oakley. Okay. Look at this beautiful face. There you go, baby. There you go.
Oakley has got a nice shower today.
There you
he
go.
smells good. He's got his treats. It's a little warm out here, I tell you that.
Yeah, and that's why we have to be careful when we have the dogs out here. Even for something as good as this, we have to be careful because the heat affects every dog differently.
So, Oakley, I wish I knew a little bit more about you and you could talk to us because the cuteness on you is just unbelievable. He looks athletic. Looks like he's in really good shape.
Yes.
So other than the visual, I would not even call it an issue, right?
It's not. It's not.
No issue here.
You got a little Invisalign.
A little
he's fine.
Invisalign, he's good to go. But other than that, you truly think that's the only reason people see that and they move on?
I think so. I think they think, oh, what happened to that dog? Or, ill, what's wrong with that dog? And they just don't look at him and don't see him for what he is.
Sweet pup.
I love it.
Yeah, we have a lot more coming up on News 6 at 6.
Including an update on a big story last week, a home destroyed and vandalized in Claremont. Why deputies say as of right now, no one is facing charges. And we're staying on top of a big story in Orlando. Orange County officials and the Florida Attorney General not holding back in a fight over immigration rules. How we got here, next.